This conference will now be recorded.
Let's start the today's sessions. Today we are going to learn AWS Cloud Master Program. So this is our website, and now we are going to our AWS Cloud Console. So for the AWS Cloud Console, today we are going to learn serverless infrastructure. For that we needed the database DynamoDB. So this is the session for the DynamoDB. So let's go to the DynamoDB. We can go here in the search box. We can go here DynamoDB, and this is your NoSQL DynamoDB, NoSQL database. DynamoDB we are using in the serverless infrastructure application where we don't want like SQL oriented database. So this is the NoSQL database. Amazon DynamoDB, it's kind of a MongoDB, it's kind of a CosmoDB. They are like very much flexibility are there. No joins are required. It's a NoSQL database. There is a like foreign key and all these complex concepts should not be there. It is not depend on the RDBMS data system like relational database system. We can do this auto scale whenever the load will be more, number of the transactions will be more. It is the flexible. Any point of the time you can add anything, any columns. It has also row, it has also column, it has also table. DynamoDB is a fully managed, and here you are storing the value in the key value pair form in the JSON. It is a document database that delivers single digit milliseconds performance at any scale. So we will understood like comparison between the DynamoDB and NoSQL database. In the NoSQL database or SQL database, what is the difference? Okay, first difference is like RDBMS system. Okay, there we need the schema, and NoSQL database. Here we do not require the schema, so it is the schema less. Then RDBMS system, you are creating a table. Here also the similarity is in the NoSQL database, like here also you have a table line. Here we can define horizontal line as a row. We can define horizontal line as a row. Similar way, here you can define horizontal line as a item. What we can say? Item. Here what we are going to say? Row. Horizontal line is a row. Here you can say each row will be the one item. Okay. Here you can define number of the columns, and which once you create it, then it should be the table design. After that, once it is in running, then you want to add some new column, then you need to alter the table. So this vertical line we can say column. Okay. Here also you have the vertical lines. So each vertical line will define your column. Here you have like primary key concept, here foreign key concept. Okay, so these are the things you are defining. Here also you have the like primary key, and we can say short key. Primary key and short key, if you made it both, then there is a composite key. Okay, primary key plus short key, that is the composite key, we can say. Okay, so this is the difference between the RDBMS system and NoSQL database. So whenever somebody will ask you in the interview, when you will go to the Amazon, when you will go to the IBM, when you will go to the JP Morgan, any company where you go, okay, so they can ask you like at which point you can use at which database. Okay, the serverless infrastructure you can use. If you want the serverless infrastructure, then you can use the NoSQL database, that is the DynamoDB. Okay, the schema oriented database you can use like a Oracle if it is a big amount of the data you need to deal. MySQL the smaller compared to that, and Postgres, okay, it is the another lighter weighted. Okay, but RDBMS oriented database. DynamoDB good part is here you have read and write operations. When you are going to do, you can do the auto scale. You can create a global table like this table. If any changes will happen at the USA region, the same changes will reflect in the UK level. Okay, as it is a global table. If you made it as a, you can take a point in time recovery for the security concern data backup. You can take a backup, you can create a snapshots. So same table you can create anywhere. Okay, and you can also do here like auto purge the data. Suppose that the DynamoDB which you are using in some system there, like you are maintaining the logs of the system, so after 10-15 days you want to auto purge the data, then you can use time to live TTL feature. Time to live, okay, you define the time range. So when that time range will reach, then data will be auto purged. Okay, you can do the monitoring, you can define the alarms here. And the thing is here you have the best features like performance is very good. Okay, flexible, any point of the time you can add the number of the columns. Okay, and this is the key value pair form. You are storing the data key value pair form. So these are the advantage. So here key value pair form, it is nothing like it is a your JSN, JavaScript object notation. It is the lighter weighted. Okay, so the cost wise, like less cost we can bear in the serverless infrastructures. So basically what you can do, suppose that you are developing any microservice. Okay, suppose that you are developing any microservice that is running on your Lambda or server. Okay, any kind of the application, you can connect with the NoSQL database and it can be performed. Okay, And this DynamoDB data, you want to take a backup, or you want to take a any kind of the operations which you want to perform, you can also like take the backup or store the data in the cyclic based, in the bucket it support. Okay, for taking the backup, you can use the S3 bucket, simple storage service. Okay, from this S3 bucket, you can add, you can analyze this data. Okay, you can analyze this data. Okay, what are the ways? You have the various ways, like you can analyze this data by Kibana, correct? If you have a data set, so you can analyze this data Kibana, Blue, Redshift. Okay, and Kinesis, Kinesis. Okay, so various third-party system, you can analyze this data. Okay, Athena. Okay, so it is like a very flexible. It support the multiple services. Okay, so that is how like NoSQL database DynamoDB. Okay, so all these points which I told you, it is like people can ask you in the interviews, and you need to apply in your infrastructure whenever these kind of the requirements are there. For this serverless infrastructure, you can perform the CURD operations. C means create, so you can insert the record. U means update, you can update the record. R means read, you can read the record. D means delete, you can delete the records. So CURD operations you can perform in this as NoSQL database. So now let's implement this lab, how we are going to implement this. As of now, any questions you have, you let me know.
This conference will now be recorded.
So you assume, like suppose that you don't know in the AWS anything, then also you can create the DynamoDB. You can assume like today your first day, and your manager told like you need to create one schema less database. Then your approach will be DynamoDB. There is a no dependency, other services and this services. Okay, it is the fully completed service it is. Okay, so by using this we can create a table. This is the pricing model, DynamoDB charges. Okay, so this is your pricing model. There is a Amazon DynamoDB documentations that you can read it, and this is the FAQs that whenever you have a time you can read it. So the benefit of this feature is performance at scale. So second is enterprise ready applications. So DynamoDB is built for mission critical workloads, including support for ACID transaction for a broad set of applications that require the complex business logic. And for this, no server to manage. This is the advantage. DynamoDB is a serverless. You don't have provision, patch, or manage server, and you don't have to install, maintain, or operate the software. DynamoDB automatically scales tables up and down to adjust for capacity and maintain the performance. Okay, and performance at its scale means DynamoDB support some of the world's largest scale application by providing the consistent single digit milliseconds response time at any scale. You can build application with virtually unlimited throughput and storage. That's how I explained. Okay. And the use cases is ad tech. Okay, there are the advertisement technology, ad tech companies using the DynamoDB because there is a no business transactions. So for them it is the very good key value store for storing the various kind of the marketing data such as user profile, user events, and click and visited the links. Then gaming industry. So they can also use gaming companies DynamoDB in all capabilities of gaming platform, including the game states, player data, session history, and like leaderboards. Then retail industry. Many retail companies use the common DynamoDB design pattern to deliver the consistent low latency for mission critical use case such as shopping carts, workflow engine, inventory tracking, and fulfillment, customer profile, and accounts. Okay. Then media and entertainment industry. Media and entertainment companies use the DynamoDB when they require extreme scale up throughput and concurrency, low latency and reliability. DynamoDB scales elastic to handle the load and maintains low latency that is critical for real-time scenarios such as the video streaming and interactive content. So nowadays Instagram and all which you are seeing because of like we have the DynamoDB features. Software and internet, that is also like you can use, okay, DynamoDB in that. And banking and finance application, as a company in the banking and finance build more cloud native application, they seek to use fully managed seeking service, increase agility, reduce time to market, and minimize the operational overhead. Common use case include user transaction, event-driven transactions, processing, fraud detections, mainframe offloading, and charges data capture. Okay, so these are the business scenario where you can use the DynamoDB. You can create the applications. Okay, so now we can create one table. Okay, so create the table. So suppose that like I am creating a job portal. So basically recently we started our one more branch in the San Francisco. So there we are dealing with the jobs, okay, USA related jobs. Okay, so it's kind of a consultancy work actually. So similar way, we are targeting to the other countries like UK, Australia, Singapore, Dubai. Okay. So what we need first, so is suppose that I am taking my scenario. So for that, we created a applications, we created a app. So everything is built on the cloud. So I don't want to means go with that lot of cost and all. So I want the flexible database. So in that scenario, like we created a serverless infrastructures for our backend APIs. Okay. So in that scenario, what I did, I created the DynamoDB. So suppose that I'm creating a one USA job portal. Okay. So my table name is USA jobs. This is you can assume like USA jobs info table. So what is happening? USA jobs info table. This table maintaining related to the job data. Okay. Now table name. This will be used to identity your table. So DynamoDB is a schema-less database that requires only a table name and primary key when we want to create the table. So the mandatory key in the DynamoDB, that is the primary key. So even though one column itself you can create a table, just mention their primary key. Okay. So table name we defined. Now the partition key is nothing but we can say primary key. So the partition key is the part of the table's primary key. Okay, so in the SQL we are telling the primary key. Here primary key means partition key. So partition key and primary key both are the same. But we can say the schema-less database DynamoDB, partition key is the part of the table's primary key. It has hash value that is used to retrieve item from your table and allocate data across host for scalability and ability. Okay, so what is the partition key I can mention for that? Okay, candidate ID, candidates ID, I can say this is like my partition key. Okay, what is this ID key? So what is the hash value? Like type for that string, binary, number, let it be the string. Okay, now short key, candidate ID is there. How can I made it as a short key? So like for the sorting purpose, so we can use a short key as a second part of a table primary key. Okay, the short key allow you to sort the search among all items sharing the same partition key. Okay, so candidate ID can be the primary key. Okay, and short key we can do like sorting. Okay, based on we can say experience. Okay, based on the experience, number of the year experience, how many years of experience, and we can define this as a number. So I can short this. Correct. Now table settings. So there is a default settings and customized settings. Default settings means like you just want to create a table the faster way, and later you can modify because it is the flexible. So in the default settings, what are the facility you have available? The capacity mode, provisioned. You can do the editable later. Read capacity, 5 RCU. 5 RCU means read capacity unit. Okay, so 5 RCU. Provisioned write capacity is 5 WCU, means write capacity unit. Auto scaling on means whenever the huge amount of the data will come, so number of the read write capacity needs to increase, then auto scaling feature is on, and it will ready to do that. It is auto scale. Then encryption key management. So basically for the data security purpose, data should not be lost while saving or while retrieving. Then there is the encryption key management owned by the Amazon DynamoDB. The table class you are using as a standard. Okay, so this is the default settings. But when you are working in the product, okay, then if you want to do some customization, you can go to the customize settings. We can go here and we can add the customize settings. So there is a DynamoDB standard class, DynamoDB standard IA class. So basically DynamoDB standard class is default general purpose table class recommended for the vast majority of the table that store frequently accessed data with throughput, read and writes as the dominant table cost. Like frequently we are accessing. And DynamoDB standard IA class is recommend for the table that store the data that is the infrequently accessed with storage as the dominant table cost. Okay, so that is the difference. So basically table class to optimize your table cost based on your workload requirement and data access pattern. That is your table class. So as of now we use the standard. Now capacity calculator, as if now each item, basically each row, average item size you are making as a 1 kb, and item read per second is, that is the one, item write per second is, that is the one. If you are maintaining this read capacity unit, write capacity unit, then 0.67 per month, that should be the cost. Consistency will be two types, like standard and transaction. You are selected as a standard. Read capacity is eventually consistent. Okay. If I will increase this to 2, then charges will be increased. So based on your setting, based on your calculator, your charges will be vary. Now we can say read and write capacity settings. So one is the on demand. Okay, another is the provision. On demand means simplify billing by paying for the actual reads and writes your application. Provision means manage and optimize your cost by allocating the read and write capacity in advanced. Okay, so suppose that you selected the on demand, like based on the demand you can use it. Okay, or you can go to the provision. Suppose that you go to the provision, so auto scaling, you can make it as a on and off. Basically dynamically adjust provision throughput capacity on the behalf in response to actual traffic pattern. So minimum capacity unit we can say 1, maximum capacity unit we can say 10. So whenever the load will be high, then automatically capacity unit will auto increment, that will happen. Initially it is a 1, then it will go the 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10 it will go. The target utilization percentage is 70. It means what? Suppose that 1 is the minimum capacity unit. Okay, 1 is the minimum capacity unit. This is like a 1 is the minimum capacity unit. Then this will increase, load is increased, then what it will go? So how it we can say load is increased? 70%. The utilization already happened. The load coming to the Dynamo DB 70%. Then still we can say the usage is more, it is not going to handle, then it will increase by 2, then it will increase by 3. Okay, then it will increase by 4. So it's like keep on going on. Okay, it's all keep on going on, like whenever the utilization is covered like 70%, it will increase by one more unit. So up to 10 it can go. Okay, to handle the transactions and load. Similar way, write capacity. So dynamically adjust provision throughput capacity on your behalf, actual traffic pattern. So 1 to 10. You can increase also, no problem. Target utilization, you can make it 75%. That also you can do that. Now secondary indexes. Like secondary indexes when we need it. Suppose that this is like a partition key and short key, we are shorting the data. In that also, suppose that you are the player. So one is partitions key, like player ID and like age. But still I want to short the data based on like which player. Okay, based on the, we can say, how many runs they put it. Okay, for that I want to do some filtrations, then I can create the secondary indexes. Means which player how many runs made it, so according the ranking I need to decide. Okay, so we can create like a global index. So your partition key will be the same, like candidates ID. So we can say create, and short key, there you define based on the experience. Here you defined based on the current salary. Okay, based on the salary. Okay, you want to define now attribute projections all and create. So what is happening? One global index which you created. Now encryption at rest. Now encryption at rest means for security concern, like you want to define the key so owned by the Amazon DynamoDB. You can use AWS managed key like KMS and all, and store in your account and owned and mapped by you. That also you can use if you have that key. As if now use the owned by Amazon DynamoDB. Okay. So now basically why we are using, so we are not charged for additional this. Deletion protection if we enable, so nobody can able to delete this until we need to edit. So production environment, you need to select these options. Tag for identification purpose. Okay. Now create table. So what is happening? You created one job oriented table in the DynamoDB. So now you can see name you have, partition key you have table name, partition key, short key is experience, one index is there, read capacity is there, write capacity is there. So you have one table successfully, that is the active which you created. Now there is a action. You can update the settings, explore the item, okay, and turn on the deletion protections. You can delete it when you no need this. So these are the options is there. You can create the n number of the tables here. Now what I'm going to do, go here, explore the item. So at this point you can see here in the editor you can scan or query items. You can do the scanning. Okay. Now auto preview, suppose you want to enable, view the table detail. You can view the table detail. You can query when it has a data and you want to get the details. You can add the filters based on the filter conditions you want to retrieve the data. Okay. And you can create a item. So any record which you want to store, you can create the item. So that also you can do that. View the table. This is your view the table. So now you can see here overview. This is your partition key, short key, capacity mode, provisioned, additional info, one global index. You can create the DynamoDB in streams. Time to live is off. If you enable that, so the time stamp which you provide, if that is the crossed, your data is deleted automatically. Item summary, how many items will be there in your table. So get the live item count. Table capacity matrices, like read uses, throttle, write uses, you can monitor it from here. Indexes, so there is a one indexes, okay, which is available. Monitoring, so you can set the alarms in the CloudWatch. CloudWatch contributor insight for DynamoDB. you can enable, and CloudWatch matrices will be there. Okay, read uses and all. You can create this like as a global table, like the same table. As if now it is Mumbai, you want to add the same table will which will be should be inside some different region. Select the region. Suppose that you want to add the Virginia region, and for that this is the default IAM role. Create replica. So the same table will be created with the same settings at the Virginia level. Okay, so this is the global table features. Now backup, you can take a backup like point in time recovery means suppose that today your table is fine, you take a data today at 8:50. Okay, point in time recovery, and tomorrow something happen, then you have till 8:50 data. When your table everything will be fine, all the data you can go to this point in time recovery and you can take it up. Similar way you have the backup, so time to time whatever you have a backup you can take it up. Export and streams, so like the data which is coming in the DynamoDB from the microservices, from the web services, you can export in the like S3 bucket. You can attach, click on this S3 bucket and give that S3 bucket. You can browse it. Suppose that you want to this snowflake, here you can browse it. So you are doing the cross region, same region also you can do the same account or different account, whichever account you can select it. Additional settings like export from a specific point in time, so current time, JSON format, encryption key type, you want to do that export. So like you can provide it. Okay. Now additional settings is this is your additional settings like read and write capacity you want to increase, you can edit it. Index capacity, this is the index capacity. Estimated read and write cost, this one. Auto scaling activity, if it will happen it will come here. Time to live, if you want to enable you can turn on time to live. Encryptions, you can manage the encryption, deletion, protection, tagging. Okay, now go to this overview, and in this overview explore the table item. I want to add some item, so create a item. So candidate ID we can say, suppose that like Govardhan. Govardhan. Uh, so we can say one candidate ID Govardhan underscore like Viraje tag. Okay, so we can say VJ1. That is the ID for experience of the Govardhan is 12 years. Okay, now you added the value create item. Okay, so one item you created. Now create another item. We can go here and candidate ID we can define like Sachidanand BJT underscore 2. Experience 2 years. Create item. Okay. Now I want to add some more values here, some more columns. Create item. So this is the attribute. So now what I want to do, I want to add new attribute. Okay. So suppose that string attribute. So we can give as a name. So name we can define. Okay. So we can say Like suppose that Ravi BJT 3 experience like 4 years, and name we can say Ravi. Now I want to create this structure, okay, and create. Now go to this explore item, go here, okay. We can go here and explore the table item, run, see all the data. Once we run, all the data will be available, okay. See here, earlier we have it two columns, now we have this. So here also, at this point of the time, suppose that I want to edit this, we can go here, edit the item, okay. So here also we can add like another column, add new attribute. Suppose that I want to add the location detail. So we can go like location, and location I can give like USA. So any point of the time I can add the data, run that, see here, location key, okay. Now go to this action. I want to duplicate that. Suppose that this is my, so go to this first, edit the item, add new attribute, that we can say location. This is add new attribute string, so we can say like name, so we can go Ravi, okay. Add another new attribute, that is like a skill set, I can say. So in the skill, number of the skill can be happen, okay. So what can I do that? I can want to add the multiple like in the one value multiple values. So what can I do? List I created, and so we can say this is like a skills, okay. Then insert the field list of data I want to add, okay. So we can say stream. So what are the skills like? We can go like we can fill the data like a Java, or what we can do that, remove this, insert a field map, list of map, okay, list of map. So here I can go to this stream map. What we can do this skill, and then we can define the map, and then we can define in the map stream, suppose, okay. So in the skill point of view, I can give this Java 2 years, okay. Again string, the key value we can say AWS 4 years, then string, so insert string Java AWS 4 years, then we can say Azure 3 years, okay. So basically in the one column we can add the multiple things, we can add that, okay. So list of map we can use. Now save changes, run this. So now you can see how the things will become, it will come like this, correct. Now we will go here, action, okay, and we can go this edit item, I want to view this. This is a form base. I want to view this JSON base. So this is the JSON. Okay. View the DynamoDB in the JSON. Now you can see candidate ID, experience, location, name, skills. In the skills, you have a skill and experience. Correct. So if you can view this in the JSON editor, JSON viewer, you can go here and define this. Go to this viewer, candidate ID, experience, location, name, and skills. So zeroth element, you have this. So this guy has, these are the skill sets. Okay. Now we back to this. Okay. So this is the edit mode. Now, like cancel this. I want to create the duplicate item. So duplicate item. So everything will come same. Now I can change the value instead of Sachidanand because it is the unique identifier. We can give here. So experience is 5 years. It is from UK. Name we can say Mona Lisa. ID will be BJT5. Skills. So we can see the skills AWS or Java. Okay. So I can give like whatever the value for this girl 1232. So this is the zeroth element skills. Now we can say this is like a primary skill set. Suppose you want to add like the number of the project, insert. Okay, we can give this. So one element. Okay, so we define this 0 or 1. Now in this one we can define some value like string. Okay, that will come here. So structure we can see. So we can go the string. So it will come here. So suppose that inside that one value, and this is like you can define like a project USA. Okay, for that. So now what you did, create the item. Now this is your Mona Lisa. You can see here, go to the edit item, JSON view, view the JSON form. You have the two content. It's like it. Look at this viewer. So now skills. So project one, these are the things. It's work. Okay. So this way we can create. So your DynamoDB is very flexible. Okay, and you can store the data. Now suppose that you want to duplicate this action, duplicate, download the CSV file, result to selected item, or download the complete result CSV file. So this is the complete result CSV file which you have. It will come here, candidate name, experience. You can take it up. Okay. Suppose that like this is like a Ravi. You want to delete it. So you can delete the item. Now, like when we created this, I want to scan it. So table is this all attributes filter. So we can say experience. Based on the experience, what is this? This is a number equal to, I can say 2. Okay, run. So you will get the one item whichever the experience. Similar way, you can go and query. You want to do query, remove this filter. So all attribute, so partition key. Okay. So what is your partition key? Like candidate ID. So candidate ID, your partition key equal to enter the short key value. Okay. Short key will be the experience. So we can say this is suppose like a number one. Okay. Run, execute. So it will give reset it. Okay. Query, define that, enter the partition key value. We can go first scan, run. Okay. Let it be give the value, partition key value. Okay. Just define that, run. So you will get that. Okay. So you are scanning. Now reset that. So whatever the operations you are doing here, reset it. Filter, is there any filter? Okay. So all the data will be there. So this is the way you can scan and you can scan the query. You can search the results. So the thing is, whatever you are doing this, okay. Now go to the Virginia location. What is happening at the Virginia location? See, at the Virginia location also you have US location same table because you create it as a replica. So it is a global table. Okay. So the changes which you will do, it will reflect here also. Okay. So as if now it is the fetching the item, you have a table. This is the table. Okay. Here you will do the changes, it will reflect from there also. So you can see here read, write, throughput. See here, write uses, the things are coming here also. Whatever the operations you are performing, indexes. So this table, Virginia locations, it's created because of the replica features. Okay. See here, the operation which you did, here also it will be impacted. It is a global table. Global table where it is Mumbai region. Backup, you can take it the backup. Suppose that point in time recovery backup. Turn on the point in time recovery backup. Save the changes. Okay. Now it takes a point in time recovery. You want to create the backup, suppose schedule backup, on demand backup. Create the on demand backup. So default settings, let it be create a backup. So what is happening? The Dynamo DB, you can create the backup. Okay. So on demand backup will come. Similar way, you can schedule the backup. So when it's supposed to take, so you can define the plan like template, daily 35-day retention, daily monthly 1 year retention. Okay. Backup plan, you can define like USA jobs. Then daily backup you want to take, then daily backup. add the backup rule. You want to define the backup rule, you can define that. Okay, based on the window and all, you can select and create the backup rule. So according that, your backup will be happen. So whenever you need some production, then only take it up, otherwise not required. Okay, we will go to our here, go to this DynamoDB table. Now, like here, you want to export the streaming, export which bucket you want to use, demo snowflake. Okay, and export. So what will happen? Snowflake will take the export details, the data details. Okay, export. So now what will happen? It's connected. So the data is streaming, the data you can export in the S3 bucket. And from the S3 bucket, some other services can be connected. Additional settings, you can increase this. Okay. Time to live features. Like if you turn on, so what should be the attribute you can add in your table? The time value. So time to live attribute name you can define. So each table always maintain like creation time, creation date, creation date, so that tomorrow you want the data will be auto purge. So as of now, June 11, 2023. Okay. So whenever the June 11, 2023, this value will cross epoch time value. Okay. So next 60 minutes, next 24 hour, next 7 days, custom time, epoch time. Then like particular data will be gone when it will be crossed. So you can see the run the preview. So what should be the item once it will be crossed, it will come and turn on the TTL. Okay, so that is the like a time to live. So basically it is we are using for like auto purge. So this is your table. Now you go to this explore the item, run. So these are the value. Now Mona Lisa experience, I am going to change something, add it. Go here, action, added item. Instead of experience, I would made it as a 6. Okay. So take this work item, recreate the, I change here 6. Now go to the Mumbai location, whether changes is reflected if it is a global table. So run this. Now you can see Mona Lisa item here also 6. So the changes which we will do here, that will be reflect in the replica locations. Similar way, replica location you will do the changes, it will reflect from here. You can add any number of the rows. Suppose that this Sachidanand, I deleted this item. Now I went to this Virginia location and run that. No Sachidanand record. So it is like a mirror. Okay. That's how, like AWS, we can say disaster assistance. Suppose that one location some problem will happen. Okay. Another locations also you can manage. Okay. Everything will be there. So this is your like DynamoDB table which we created. Now you can see S3 bucket. the streaming, the data you enabled, Snowflake, see here, AWS DynamoDB, and inside that you have all these files, data, then this is the jsn.g is there. Okay, so that's how like your DynamoDB, it is like a serverless infrastructure, no SQL database. So nowadays RDBMS system, like wherever we can manipulate and reducing the cost, people are using schema database like DynamoDB. So we can say it's the same like a MongoDB. In the Azure, we can say it is like a CosmoDB. Okay, got it? Any questions you can ask guys here?
This conference will now be recorded.
Now you can see here, like we can go. This is the, like, if you want to go, then go to the documentation for more theory. What is the Amazon DynamoDB? So detailed requirements are so detailed. So you can have these topics. You can read it whenever you have a requirement. So here you can get it the how it works. Okay, from SQL to NoSQL, additional resources, setting up the DynamoDB, okay, programming with the DynamoDB. So whenever you are working like programming based SDK model, you can use this. Okay, then error handling, how we can handle the error handling. Okay, for that code is what we are going to use. Higher level programming. So basically, when you are writing in the code and interact with the DynamoDB, you will use the DynamoDB mapper class. Okay, so you will use the DynamoDB mapper class so that you can connect your DynamoDB. So this is the code for that. So as if now you created the table based on the configuration, based on the code also, you can create the table. Okay, so this is your mapper class, how you want to be add your structure. So that's how this is the code will be there. Okay, now there is a another FAQs. So there are the whatever the things I explained you, similar with the interview in the DynamoDB, manage on my behalf. What is the consistency model? Okay, what kind of the query functionality does DynamoDB support? Okay, how am I charged or my use of the DynamoDB maximum throughput? So these are the questions and answers that you can read it whenever you have a time. Then Amazon DynamoDB, the use cases. So the design pattern. So basically, this is the media ad tech industry. Okay, so they are using the DynamoDB. So use cases. This is the use case. Okay, and then in this industry, we can create the DynamoDB table. We can utilize it. Similar way, the gaming industry nowadays are using the DynamoDB. Okay, like how the modeling one-to-one mapping, one-to-many relationship, many-to-many relationships. So use cases game, state player, data store, design pattern, one-to-one modeling, and one-to-many modeling. Okay, so gaming space are using the DynamoDB. So you can see this is the one-to-one model. Okay, so country and capital city. So like that, you can define database design. Okay, similar way, like okay, so these are the use case of the DynamoDB which you can use. Suppose that once your project is got over, so we should not keep this. What we can do, uh, we can delete this. So whatever we created, we want to delete it. Okay, our DynamoDB features. Okay, replica first we can go and delete at the Virginia locations. So we can go here and delete. Okay, so not required this, delete everything, and we can go confirm, delete that. Okay, so it will go and delete. Same way we can go to the Mumbai location and delete this, confirm. Okay, we go and confirm. As if now our replica is deleted. Once that is deleted, then we can delete this. Okay, so this is the like your cleanup activities which you can do that. Yeah, any questions as if now you can ask, you can discuss with me. Okay, and guys, just follow this content, and you can achieve whatever the jobs opportunities whichever country you are looking, like Germany, France, Russia, okay, UK, USA, Australia, Singapore, Dubai. You can achieve it. Okay, this is everything we are doing in the real time. So just practice it and let me know you have any questions. And okay, so we will connect on that. Thank you.